Omar, thanks for joining us. How do you feel ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, excited. Looking forward to such a special occasion. I guess really grateful as well, considering how things have gone this season. It's well publicised. In December we were in the relegation zone. To have turned things around in a way that we have has been nothing short of a miracle. To be on the cusp of getting into the championship, so yeah, extremely excited. Really looking forward to the occasion, and really eager to hopefully go and make history. I know it's going to mean a lot for these fans. Orient yet to go to Wembley and win, and I've been sharing with the younger lads. You know, they've got an opportunity to go and make history and be heroes for generations to come. So we've seen Crystal Palace do it, and those guys will be legends, for Palace fans for years to come. So yeah, excited, eager, all the above.
You were at the club before Richie arrived.
Mm-hmm.
What's the secret between the impact that he's made? Because when he came, Leyton Orient was struggling at the wrong end of League Two, and here they are on the verge of the Championship.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Kenny Jackett, in all fairness to him, didn't get it all too bad. He recruited some good individuals, and Richie, I'm sure, would have been super surprised when he came in and saw the squad. Like, how on earth have I came into this team and inherited some of the individuals that he has done? Because he kept a lot of us on at a point in time. So, but him coming in, I think he brings, as a modern day younger manager, real tactical nous, so just really understanding what to do and being able to pivot, being able to adapt. I think adaptability has been one of his skills, be it whether it's in game or from game to game. How flexible and fluid we've been from time to time, and the subtle tactical adjustments that have been probably not many people notice, but which makes him as good as he is. And also just, I guess, the recruitment side of things, but really getting in good people, good characters. The dressing room, the togetherness has been something that's been fundamental for as long as I've been here at Orient. It's been a good bunch, and I guess it's having the right individuals has been key to that. Darren Pratley as a captain has been special, and you honestly couldn't write it, the fact that his potential last game for the club could be at Wembley against Charlton. But it takes individuals like that, and he's put his trust in people like him to remain at the club, and it's those individuals that help manage the dressing room and make his job a lot easier. So I think I think it's the good characters, it's the tactical element of what Richie brings to the table, but also, I guess, lastly, a level of relentlessness and obsession and just passion that he naturally demands off of a lot of the players, and he's turned a lot of good players into winners.
There are several players in the squad that formerly were with Charlton. It's going to be the fourth time that the O's have faced the Addicts this season. What's you gained from that inside information? Because Evans Green was there earlier in this campaign, wasn't he? And also those games that you played against Charlton.
I don't know if it gives us any cute advantages, because they're going to change, they're going to pivot. The lads that have been there years ago, probably they're a different side, a different manager, and not many of them played under Nathan Jones. But we've played against them twice, so we're pretty much across of what type of team they are. I don't think much will change drastically. But yeah, I guess so. I don't think those individuals gives us an advantage from a tactical standpoint, but I think from a motivational standpoint, it could be, because we could be considered as a feeder team, as from Charlton, and getting their players that they probably, they don't want anymore, and it's like, well, it's more motivation, extra motivation for those lads to step out and wanting to prove them wrong for letting them go. So yeah, I just think it's more than anything just a source of motivation.
Finally, for me, earlier in this season, the supporters were more concerned about relegation because the side were struggling before November. Mm-hmm. Does that mean for Sunday that there isn't going to be such a high level of expectation in terms of promotion on the Orient players, or do you see it a different way?
I think we can. I feel like it's interesting when people say that you have to be one or the other. Yeah, you've either got to just be. It's got to mean everything to you, and also, or you've got to be just completely laid back and passive and be like, it doesn't really matter. We can just enjoy it. I feel like the two could coexist. I feel like we're able to be super grateful and really, appreciate the fact that we're here, considering the season we've had, and almost be a little bit laid back and relaxed because we've completely overachieved. We're the underdogs. Charlton will still out their end, and there's a bigger expectation because they've been up there for a longer period of time. But I think we can use that to our advantage and still say we want to win, and we back ourselves. We wholeheartedly are stepping out at Wembley not to lose a game of football because it's the worst place to lose a football match. So we're going out there to completely win. We have a game plan. We have a demanding manager, I've already said, and we have boys that are eager to make history, as I've already alluded to. So yeah, we're wholeheartedly using a combination of both to hopefully be to our advantage.
Thank you and good luck.
Cheers.
Was this you played at Wembley before?
Yes, this will be my third occasion.
And pardon my ignorance here, how have you
Yeah, so
how have you fared in your previous?
Yeah, so I got there twice in one season and lost both with a Shrewsbury side. We played in the, I don't know if it was the Papa John's at the time or Johnson's Paint Trophy, or but yeah, we got there in that final and the League One player final. So yeah, that was my second season in the league. Went twice at Wembley, lost twice, lost to Lincoln and then lost to Rotherham. But hopefully they say third time lucky.
So have you got? I mean, I know you're local to the area. I mean, it must be huge excitement in this part of East London. Have you had many sort of people ringing you up you haven't heard from a while, trying to get tickets for?
Yeah, no, everyone comes out of the woodwork some games like these. It's something that we're not surprised of, considering the season we've had so far, playing against Man City and other big occasions, the playoffs, the build up to that. So yeah, people naturally do come out the woodworks. I've been trying my best to share my experience with the lads to really help manage that, because it can be a very interesting dynamic for a lot of players, a unique experience where you're going into such a big game and then everyone's demanding tickets, even family members are coming out the woodworks, and then you almost spend so much time obsessing with that, it just creates an unnecessary stress. So I'm just trying to alleviate that pressure by telling the lads not to worry about that. So yeah, people do come out the woodworks, but just batting it off in all honesty. And yeah, ultimately looking to go back on a third occasion and get a win for my local club, which means the world to me.
So you've met a lot of lifelong Orient fans this week, have you?
Met a lot of lifelong Orient fans this week. Well, yeah, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. A lot who have come out the woodworks who are hopefully going to be converters, should I say? So yeah.
Just, I mean, you say your second year in the league, you played at Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
Just that experience of coming from non-league and playing at like the most famous stadium in the world. Big game. Have you passed on any of those sort of experiences to lads who are playing there for the first time?
Yeah, no, I have and will continue to do so. I'm definitely a different person than I was when I went there the first time round. It's my second time in the league. I considered like the 4 seasons in the build up to that, I just literally went up a level. Got in team of the season that year and almost had this arrogance and expectation like it's going to happen, whether I do it with this team or not. And that was probably the worst mindset I could have ever had. So getting around the likes of lads who have done really well and had accolades to really keep their feet on the ground. And I remember a manager saying to me, there's a way to win a game and there's a way to lose a game. And it's no matter how things go, just to keep on going, because people are watching that. And it's your character that's really, really important. So I think that's going to be really fundamental, getting that message to the boys, because I've experienced it's the worst place to lose. So yeah, I guess looking at the messages I'm communicating to those boys is to not get too obsessed with the outcome in and of itself, but just really to be present, to enjoy the moment, because that's what matters the most. Sometimes people can look too far ahead in the future. I've got the most goals, that means this, that and the other. I've got the most assists, and do you know what I mean? It's like, this is the present moment, enjoy this moment, be present in this moment, and that allows you to then go on to potentially score and enjoy the rest of what that may be.
Just one last one.
Go on.
What's it like the first time you played them? Putting on the coach, what kind of...
The first time, I was
Did you take it as a young player? Is it kind of...
I wasn't a young player at the time, I'll be honest. I was what, 20, maybe 27 I think at the time, so I wasn't exactly young. Oh no, 26, yeah, or yeah, 26. So yeah, I guess at that time, the excitement, there was probably more of a prideful arrogance about me at the time, where I was like, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. I'm heading in one way, and I thought I was big cheese. But yeah, so there was a lot of excitement, and then obviously the second time around probably really more painful because of the expectation of wanting to get to the championship and it not happening. But So yeah, I guess there was a bit of nerves. Nerves is essential, and I think you've got to have nerves. If you don't have nerves, I probably would be really, really concerned. So it's not being consumed by them, which I think is important. But I think we've got a good group, a level-headed group, so it should hold them in good stead.
Well, how helpful was the Portugal trip to sort of just mentally set?
Yeah, I guess there's two ways you can look at it. Is obviously you're going to get a few days off potentially in preparation for it. Do you want to keep everyone completely away from each other or together? And I think one thing that if we want to look at has really held us in good stead. It's not that we've been physically the best team, or we've been possession based the best team, or it's something tactical. It's been our togetherness. The team that can go down and under from being in the relegation zone to being in the position we're in is because of the togetherness, the dressing room, that team spirit. So you get an opportunity to really complement that. Which I think is really good. People can draw their own conclusions, and they will, of how beneficial that may be or not. But I think sometimes there are managers or there are people out there that think the only way to win is by being completely obsessed and intense, and it means detail and detail. You know what that does? It puts young lads that we have under more stress, more pressure, and they're now really nervous going into a game. It just takes the edge off of what could be a really overwhelming experience for some people to then go in, it's another game of football. I get to enjoy this. I've had a laugh, and I think that's the benefits. I would say there's a combination of things that I think, from a psychological standpoint, can be really beneficial for players.
What is it about the manager that stands out compared to all the others you've worked under? Like, is there something he does that is very different that you haven't experienced before, or is it just a combination of things like the package?
Yeah, I think if there was one thing that I think probably stood out was would be adaptability. So like being a bit more fluid in our structure, maybe from game to game. It could be in game, but just the need to adjust. Some managers are hell-bent. This is what we are. This is what we do. I played under managers, and it's worked really well for us because you know what you are as a clarity. Sometimes it can be a bit of our Achilles heel in there's grey areas. Sometimes we're having to do this, but it's helped really well adjusting to difficult moments and just pivoting and changing something, which he's really good at as a manager. And I think that adaptability quotient goes under the radar for a lot of people. Sometimes it's always about your IQ or your EQ, but no one talks about AQ, and I think he's got that. So I think that's been really helpful, other than the fact of the recruitment, having the right players and that togetherness that I've said.
What can you do on Sunday in terms of ensuring those younger players maybe don't get too excited, too anxious? Like, is there something you have in mind where you're going to make sure that this corner of the dressing room is calm? And
Yeah, it's a combination of like loads of different things that I guess I naturally have been doing throughout the season. Being loud in warm-ups and motivating the lads and letting them understand how important this is and making sure they're on it. But then having those one-to-one conversations, those kind of drive-by sort of discussions, and pumping up someone's tyres or making them feel a bit more calm and just relaxed. I think that's going to be really, really important. I've got my own thing that I have with each kind of individual that might be a personal thing that I really kind of need to do to kind of help them, get them going. So yeah, I'll try and do my bit. Whether that actually helps or not, these are professional players. They don't need me to, get them up for games, but every little helps nonetheless. So I'll be doing my bit. It depends, and I got to have that level of discernment to hopefully get it right. But yeah, I'll try my bits and bobs.
are those things you learned yourself, or like have you, I don't know, earlier in the season gone around and sort of spoken with the players individually and sort of figured out what drives them, or do you just sort of calculate these things in your own mind and decide what you're going to do?
So yeah, I don't want this to sound very philosophical, like, oh, this guy's he's able to analyze this and that, but I just think it's just about building relationships. And I think you have to build relationships. You have to kind of know what works for certain people. I might have to shout at a certain individual because they will respond really well to that, or I might have to, if I shout at a certain individual, they're just not going to respond well. So I guess it's just building a relationships with my teammates that has helped me to understand what works for them. And yeah, so I think that's just organically kind of taking its place. But I've had some incredible examples, leaders, Pratt's being one of them, who's helped me learn what it takes to be a leader, what it takes to be a captain. And I just take a bit from everyone and go, yeah, go on, I'm gonna use that. I'm actually gonna apply that and I'm gonna do that. So yeah.